Hello and welcome to another session of Level Up. This time we made 67 time, and today's session is with Mark Molnar. Hello, man.
Hey guys.
What's up, dude?
Hello,
Hey.
nice to have you, man. Yeah, we had a quite a break last time. It was a little bit unorganized from our side, so sorry for it. But we had really busy time, and we still have. So today of Level Up team is only me and Wojtek. Jonas is still off, so he couldn't join, basically. Okay. But we will try to catch up and do some session, three of us, soon. So we are in different time zones right now. So
at that's
first
pretty
we would
hard.
like
pretty hard to
manage.
That's pretty hard to manage, right? Yeah, Jonas is
of course.
In the future for us, like 9 hours. So he's
it's
probably,
like different time zones, and of course, like our guests, we have to all put together, so it's not really hard. But anyway, we are here, and of course, we start the session with Mark, which is our guest today, and we will scroll through a couple of things with him today. He wants to do a demo for us, and for you, of course. We will also showcase his new amazing book, because Mark is a creator of Behind the Pixels Artbook, which is really amazing. The quality of it is really cool, and we definitely want to promote it today. So he will tell us a little bit about the process of the book, how you can get it, how you can buy it, and where. And he will also discuss with us a little bit about his journey, his past. His project that he has worked on, because he was a concept artist lately in Ninja Theory, and now he's freelancer again. So he joins to the community of freelance. And yeah, I think that's it from me. And now it's time to pass the voice to you, Mark. Hello.
So hey guys. So first of all, I would like to say I'm really honored to be on Level Up after all these amazing names. I don't really know what I'm doing here, and I'm really thankful that you guys invited me. So yeah, as Darek said, I'm a concept artist and illustrator, sort of jumping in between the two, and I was also going back and forth between full-time and freelance work and contract work and everything. So yeah, this is my website. You can find my works on markmolnar.com. I just scrolled through the first page. So I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm doing environments. I'm doing concept sculpting. I'm doing creature design, character design, matte painting, all sorts of stuff. What comes from the nature of freelancing, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I find really, really unique about your portfolio, is that you are jumping between softwares and techniques and all the time, but still, like, your taste is driving all of that into a really astonishing fact. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah, totally. No worries, man.
So yeah, it probably comes from that. I was always doing the same thing. I mean, jumping back and forth between stuff, and I'm not. So I started concept art pretty late. To start this whole session, I was thinking to dig into my past and show some work.
That's great. That's totally awesome. Yeah.
But unfortunately, most of my really old stuff are somewhere in like archive hard drives in the basement of my parents or things like that. So. But I still could dig up some stuff from around 2006, 2007.
Okay, so that's not your first year in digital or traditional art. There were some years before.
Yeah, actually, I started like concept art and digital art pretty late, around the age of 23, 24, I think. So I started drawing and painting pretty early. Actually, I think I switched back the camera because it's better to see my face instead of like showing just an empty screen at the beginning.
So you have started painting.
Yeah. So So I started. Is
Huh?
it working now? Okay.
I think. Yes, we
Oh,
can.
it just disappeared for a second on my screen.
It
So
works.
yeah, so I started drawing and painting pretty early because it's basically started because of my parents, because they noticed when I was a kid around like 10 or 11, they noticed that I don't really care much about my homeworks. I only care about drawing in my school books. So they thought, okay, then let's try to channel this energy. So they brought me to an after school like a night class thing where I
Oh, okay.
started to draw. So that's where I
That's
started
amazing.
to that's where I started to do like live drawing pretty early when I was 12. So and then
Wh-
yeah.
what you usually experience with parents is actually they try to like they're afraid of kids being interested in art too much. But in your case, it turns out that your parents actually supported
Yeah,
you like in
absolutely,
your.
absolutely.
That's astonishing. That's awesome, man.
So I'm really really thankful for my parents that they supported me in this whole thing. So they actually guided me to do this thing.
From such an early
Uh,
age, yeah, that's big.
so yeah, and after this, I was absolutely hooked, and I ended up in sort of an art high school. So there I started to specialize more. So or in a fine art class, so I started to do more live drawing, like nudes, and started painting with acrylics and oils, and tried a lot of things. And at the end of the high school, so I was born and raised in the northern east part of Hungary, in a smaller town.
Yeah.
And at the age of 18, in Hungary, so I'm from Hungary. So
Hmm.
at the age of 18, you finish high school in Hungary, and you go to like a polytech or university
Hmm.
or something. And I went to a 2-year school because I applied to a university, but that wasn't successful. So I went to sort of like a polytech, what is like a 2-year school learning graphic design. And when I finished that school, after that, I ended up at the University of Art and Design in Hungary,
All right.
learning visual communication, and I wasn't that much interested in graphic design anymore, although that was my main focus. But the other strong focus was illustration. So I went more towards the illustration side, and that's how I sort of ended up doing what I'm doing. But
So, what do you exactly mean I've just gravitated towards illustration? What does it mean? Like you have taken some courses during your education, or you have developed
uh,
it on your own, or how did it?
both. So we had different classes. We had like general classes focusing on art history or color theory or just the overall foundations like live
Yeah.
drawing, anatomy, things like that. And we had more like design specific classes, and
Yeah.
part of those were focusing on actual graphic design, like designing logos, designing websites, doing layouts. But the strong part was focusing on more like illustration, but illustration in the sense of book illustration, doing book covers, doing posters, like classical movie posters and things like that. So it was sort of a hybrid between a new age education and an old fashioned education.
Yeah.
I think the university changed a lot since then.
So 2006, that's the first folder you want to show us. At which point you were there? After high school? After?
So I no no, as I said, I started this pretty late. So I graduated in 2006.
Okay,
So
so that's your graduation art, let's say.
yes, sort of. So we had to do like, I'm really sorry, I just couldn't find any more samples from this.
No
It's
worries.
so these
It's
are
still
basically,
almost 10 years. So.
So these are basically a couple of illustrations. I developed the whole board game. What was
Just as a personal project.
Yeah, so we basically had to do like a masterpiece at the end of our
There you go.
so like a graduation piece. And I actually made like a whole board game. What was, if you're familiar with Warhammer stuff and all the miniatures, it was close to that word, but it was more like a fantasy chess thing. So it wasn't. So all the rules weren't that complex like all the Warhammer games, but. So if you can imagine a chess, what they would play in a fantasy world like this, and I developed the whole game. I made all the figures and everything. What I unfortunately can't show because I just couldn't find any photos of about them. But basically, these are some. Okay, my voice is coming back again.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
No.
No. Just somehow the YouTube is coming. Whatever. Oh, sorry. I'm back. Is everything right?
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
Okay. So these are just some illustrations from the rule book. What I've done for the board game. I couldn't really find. So these are the actual. So basically, there are two types of goblins, and you play against each other, and you have to gather, I think, 10 crystals from the board, and then you win.
Okay. Nice.
But these are actually traditional stuff. So these are ink drawings scanned in and actually colored with a mouse.
Mouse.
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
So I basically I bought my first tablet. Actually, that was the turning point for me because I bought my first tablet during this whole process, and this actual piece was the first ever drawing what I've done with a digital tablet.
So we are going like pretty far into your really beginning, so it's still.
Well, sort of. It's funny because these are not really my beginnings because I've done a lot of illustration work before these, but I was working traditionally.
Yeah. Okay.
And I couldn't.
Digital, yeah.
So these are the start of digital. What I could dig out. And then after my graduation, I started working before my graduation because I always had to support myself.
Mm-hmm. So what was your first job? Like how have you got it? Was it a thing that you got out of college or the thing that?
How do you mean, like the first illustration or related job, or?
Yeah, exactly. Something that you would consider, something like you just became professional. You got your first job because you're at this point. So I don't know, something.
I don't really know. I think it was before.
Hello?
Yeah, the connection is just cutting off, Mark, sometimes, I guess.
I think something bad happened. Yep, live stream thing. Every time. Awesome. Dark, can you message Mark on Facebook?
Yeah, of course.
Get him back. I think you will get to know that pretty fast. But yeah, hope it will work. So guys, if you're watching this video, if you have any questions, please submit them to the chat. Also, in the top right corner of this video, you can see a new icon, and it will contain related links to this video. If you will just click it, it will open up the bar on the right, and you will be able to find a couple of links there, which will be mainly our website and such. So yeah, that's the small news. Just an ad break. Yeah, and, Mark, where is Mark?
And we can also encourage you guys to post keep posting the questions to Mark, so we will have them in advance, so you can just pick up them anytime to ask the Mark. If you have any specific questions to him or regarding his work or his experience, just feel free to post it, and we will pick up them. You can also post the questions to us. So yeah.
Yeah. So what's happening with Mark?
I don't know. I just messaged him, but he didn't see it, I guess. So
looks like
something really bad happened in Hungary.
I think his PC died or something.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's how it happens. Like when we did a session, like after a break, or
that's where the dislikes come from. Oh God, I have to sing a song. I don't think it's a good idea. That's a suggestion from the chat.
Oh yeah, you joined.
Okay.
There you go.
So I don't know what happened. I just lost you guys.
I was about to sing a song.
We just lost you, man.
Okay. Awesome.
I was just talking to myself, man.
Then
I realized nobody's around.
It's only 1 minute. We are really close to encourage Wojtek to start singing, but yeah.
Oh God, you don't want that. You don't want that. You totally don't want that. All right, let's go back.
So where were we?
We were at your first job and 2007 folder. So if you can share your screen.
Okay, so yeah, basically I just jump on that. Let me just share the screen again. Here we go. So yeah, so basically after graduation I started freelancing, and then I was a bit more into concept art. So I basically just started to send my portfolio to everywhere. And started to doing smaller freelance gig, like design this character for this upcoming project, design that. I've done a couple of like sort of free jobs just to like not just to get into the whole industry, like doing indie games. Just to practice, and beside that, I started to work. I just worked on my portfolio and tried to get better. And
I think. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I just wanted to say after my graduation, I started freelancing for a company, and after like 2 or 3 months, they wanted me to work in the studio and to move there. So that's basically how the whole thing got more serious.
Awesome. Which was the studio, if we can ask?
The studio unfortunately closed down already. It was called Binary Star. It was in New Zealand, in Auckland, and I think it was a bit too ambitious for a startup company, and that was its main problem. So basically, we wanted to develop our own engine, our own everything, and I think it was too big for a small company like that. Plus, the whole recession just started after I moved there, and that wasn't the best for the company.
Oh, yeah.
So. But I learned shitload there. I mean, really, I met super nice people, and I really it was amazing how big was the jump compared to my previous works to working like 8, 10, 12 hours, really concentrated on what I wanted to do.
So for how long have you been there?
For 2.5 years.
Okay, that's
quite a while.
So
these are works produced.
So these are some works what I've done there. So these are already like pretty old. I was doing mainly. Maybe I should open this up in preview because they are like in various sizes and.
So you mentioned that you've been doing like before the studio, you've been doing like the smaller jobs that they maybe like assumed as a free jobs or something, like half free jobs to get the experience. How do you think that people who starting up the job and they want to break up into industry, should they really do this kind of job that is like really half free or something that gives them the experience? Because a lot of people aim to actually start with like really high quality concept art in the big studio from scratch, but sometimes it's not possible to just jump in on the big level from the beginning, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't, to be honest, I don't. I always tell my students to don't do free work because it doesn't really benefit you, because the only thing what you can get from free work is more free work. Sorry for saying this, but this is the truth. It's another story if you are doing something with your friends, or if it's an indie game what you are developing together as a team. But working for someone who is making profit from that thing for free, I'm not a big fan of that.
All right, but you said before that you did test.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you consider that a mistake?
Yes and no. I'm saying no because back then the whole industry was totally different. So
totally, yeah.
So we didn't have any tutorials online. Like conceptart.org just started. Siegen just started. The Nomon DVDs just barely started. So we didn't really have a community. We didn't really have tutorials. We couldn't really learn from anywhere. We just could learn I just could learn from my friends. We just could share like small tips and tricks. So the only way how I could get into the industry or get in touch with the industry is actually getting in touch with people and asking them to work for free, basically. So that was my only chance. But the industry is totally different now. So you can get experience on Level Up, for example, or joining other Facebook groups or Brainstorm, where you can get daily topics. So you can stretch your creative muscles. But back then there wasn't anything like that. I couldn't get critique or feedback from anyone. So my only chance to get this was through free work, basically. But I wouldn't do that if I would start now.
Yeah, totally. So that was just an alternative for education to get mileage. You tried that, but nowadays with having all the programs, Schoolism, CGMA, Gumroad videos, all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's much easier to get started.
So it's so that's why it's different. But it was definitely helped me to not just grow as an artist, but also grow in person and learn how to cope with people, how to communicate in a business situation. What is really important if you're a freelancer. So yeah, I just quickly flip through this stuff. So this is already pretty late. So this was the point. So before this, I just painted almost like acrylics. This was the first time we started to use like photo textures and like doing photo bashing and doing some 3D block-ins for my stuff.
Is it like 2007 and 8, right?
It's like from 2007, between 2007 and 9, I think, or something like that.
How many people were there in the studio with you? Like how big the group you were actually to start the project with?
I think we started around 20, and we grew to about 40, 45 at the very end.
All right.
That's not that small. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like various environment and
so these were produced for one particular project?
Yeah, exactly. It was like how can I say that, like a first-person MMO thing. It was sort of like a hybrid between a first-person and an RPG game. So basically, it had two parts. You could be like a field soldier and play it as a first-person game, and you could play it as an RPG and just control different units and support the people who are playing the first-person game. And it was in a post-apocalyptic world.
A little bit like Fallout?
Yes, sort of, but not that gritty and dark. So, so it was more like a desert, like a devastated areas, and it had this really big cities, like futuristic cities, where everything were super high tech and everything.
Yes. So you led two works, like you managed to actually do an illustrations and concept art from the beginning, and this was your main goal, to somehow keep yourself between those kind of work, because it's quite different. The illustration and concept art is quite different, and I can see that you have like some more concept-like stuff. Sometimes there is more illustration. So it was something that you liked to balance from the beginning, or it just naturally came with time?
I think it's just natural cream. Though I have done a lot of production art. Like, I mean, especially for this project, I had to design like separate props and like, I don't know, doors for shitload of doors for space station, and windows and rails and benches and trees and whatnot. So I had to design a lot of this stuff. I just grabbed what I could find this afternoon. So I couldn't really.
Because there are some questions every session to our guests, and there is like really cool one from Edwin Walt, and he is asking, do you have any tips about how people can get better at design part of the process? So he basically wants to know a little bit more about the design sense that you have to learn instead of just actually technique of painting or drawing.
I think the design sense is the hardest point of this whole industry, because there's no easy way to learn this kind of stuff. So it's I know it's hard to say, but it's just mileage, and you have to be open to the world around you. And what I was always doing is not just looking this concept art and not just looking the industry, but also try to look behind all these things and try to look for the source, what other people are looking. And by that I mean like, I was always interested in contemporary costumes, for example. I was always interested in contemporary architecture. So all these things, and the more you see, the more you learn about all the visual aesthetics, what surrounds us, the better you get, basically. So it's simple. I think it's simple mileage. It's nothing more. I mean, there are certain principles and basics what you can learn, but learn about to create functional things.
Yeah.
But
so did the move to another country or to another place helped you somehow to evolve in terms of like knowing that what's going around you? Because New Zealand is like really
definitely.
For many illustrators, it's really epic and really inspirational place, right?
Absolutely. So I think traveling is really helped a lot, because I've seen a lot of places, and just to meet with different people, just to see different cultures, different environments, different types of nature, different trees. That's everything. Like, slowly sinks into your subconscious, and you can pull those out when you are getting to or trying to design something. In the meantime, I just jumped. These are just various stuff. What I was doing besides the company work. So I still done some freelance work. So these were, I think, my first couple of Warhammer cards. What I was doing in 2009, like CD covers.
So basically, a lot of different stuff, from a little bit more fantasy to sci-fi.
Yeah, exactly. So these were me just basically experimenting with different stuff in the same period.
So as we are staying still in your showcasing your development over the years, there is one question from the chat that really resonates with me. And it's a really simple question, but it always gives a really interesting answer. What's the best piece of advice you have ever got from anyone? Like something that resonated in you? Art-wise, life-wise?
I think that the best what I was ever actually, I don't know where, but I read this somewhere, and I don't know whose quote is this. But the best what I read is, the only failure is giving up.
That's interesting.
I actually it's sort of resonated with me, because my path was full with failures, and I always tried to keep myself. I always tried to stick to my dreams, to do what I'd love to do. And
so, what kept you going when you felt like there was that another failure, another obstacle in front of you? What have you done to keep yourself motivated?
I just went back to the absolute basics, because I simply love to draw. So that's even as a kid, I sort of solved my inner problems to just starting to draw, with starting to draw, and I'm always going back to the basic, to my sketchbooks, and I simply get a pencil or get a ballpoint pen and just draw stuff.
So just go back into your really grounded training you have been through in your early years.
Yeah. It always helps, because I can totally get lost in that thing, and that's what I always loved in drawing and painting. That
What do you mean get lost? You mean the amount of software you have available?
No. I mean getting lost in a good way. So when you are losing the track of time.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
So,
you're losing yourself in the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So this is another project.
This was actually the. I also worked for some animation stuff, and so we are moving forward. I think this is 2000. I don't know, 12 or so, 11, 12. Oh man, I've got lots of stuff.
Yeah, I can tell. You're
so I can try to speed up a bit. So basically, this was an animation project what we developed with Wes Ball, who was later the director of The Maze Runner just recently.
Oh yeah, I've seen some.
And so we worked on this animation page, what is basically like a Don Quixote story about a little alien guy who ends up in Earth. So he's coming with his small robot from an asteroid planet, and he's trying to save his planet, but somehow he ends up in Earth.
Okay. Nice. So that was a freelance job?
Yeah, that was a freelance job. Just after I left I left the game company.
Okay.
And after this period, it happened that you started doing Ninja Theory, or it was
No.
later?
Actually, I was sort of going back and forth between full-time and freelance. So after I left the game company, I spent a short period at Weta when I was still in New Zealand, but that was the time when they were like sort of before the Hobbit movies started. So they finished the pre-production work, but the actual production didn't start it because there was this whole copyright thing going with the Universal. I don't know who was the production company, whatever. And that was the point where Guillermo del Toro just left the project, so they didn't know what's going to happen.
All right.
What's going to happen with the whole thing? And I was there for a short period, and basically they said they were really happy with my work, so they wanted to hire me full time, but they didn't know when that's going to happen because they were waiting on the Hobbit production to start. Yeah. And the thing was that I was there basically without a job. And I didn't know when I can start. So if they could say like, okay, it's gonna be 6 months or whatever, but without knowing anything, I just simply couldn't afford to stay there. So we decided with my girlfriend to move back to Europe. My girlfriend wanted to move back to Europe anyway because of family reasons. So we decided to move back. So that's when I moved back to freelancing, like full-time freelancing again.
That's really interesting. So, relationship-wise, you have been moving between countries, and you have kept your relationship along with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can thank a lot to my girlfriend that now she's my fiancée. That she supported me through all this journey. I don't think without her I could ever became what I became. I mean, we are together for like 12 years now. So.
Oh, congratulations, man. So, yeah, we don't really get to talk that much about this stuff, but I think it's really important as we have to manage our relationships while working in the different countries.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Go ahead.
Yeah, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
I just think I lost you guys for a second. So yeah, I know. I just said sometimes it's really hard. So like, we just spent a year, more than a year, living separately from each other. And okay, we have seen each other in every like 3-4 weeks or maybe 5, but it's not the same. You just simply can't be there when the other needs you. So. So sometimes it can be really hard, but I'm sure Darek can talk about this as well.
Yeah. It's definitely kind of hard, but I think it's part of our job as well, because at some point you have to choose, and if you have like someone who is with you and they really understand it, that it can happen or it can take a little bit of time to actually fulfill your dreams and maybe do something good for your future, for your both future. It's really important to actually decide on it, and it's only good when the second person is understandable, and so it's really hard, but as you are the example that you can manage, you can handle it. You've been doing great for more than 1 year. So
well, actually, my girlfriend could handle it. Not it wasn't. It's not really the price doesn't go to me. The price goes to her.
Totally. Yeah, that's a tough one. Okay, what we can see here.
So this is another animation project. What was an animation short? This was the first time when I was doing like actual matte paintings. So these are not exactly the photoreal matte paintings. So everything is a bit wonky, and everything had to be hand painted. So we used some photo textures, but still had to paint over everything. So this was for an animation short, and I was working on this as a freelancer, but almost full time. So I was working on this for more than 10 months, just after I moved back to Europe.
Oh, this is cool. This resembles me, the Costa that we met the first time or second time.
Oh yeah. Well, this is based in Dublin. The whole story based in Dublin. So everything is based on streets and actual landmarks in Dublin, and some natural stuff. So this was a really fun project. And
into what extension you've been using 3D back then? Like, is it like something that you?
I wasn't really.
Or
I didn't use 3D at all. I mean, I got some 3D basic 3D plugins, but just renders, and I painted them over. So I haven't used 3D myself.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
back then, I haven't started.
But now you are doing like different kind of techniques, right? Because I remember that you told me that you're using ZBrush.
Yeah, I'm using ZBrush. I'm using a bit of Modo sometimes. I'm using SketchUp.
Mm-hmm.
So these were done in the same. I can't extend it somewhere. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, here we go. So these were some steampunk sci-fi movie pitch concepts, and I actually done the Maze Runner concepts. Like, I was working for the Maze Runner as well, but in the pitch phase, so really early pitch phase, in 2012, I think. Yeah.
Maze Runner.
And these were the time when I started to do more like RPG work as well.
Mm-hmm. So regarding this movie project, you've been like basically someone like reach out to you, or you reach out to people, or you've been promoting yourself somewhere?
Well, I was, as I said before, I was in touch with Wes. So we were working on that other project, on that animation project, and we were doing a couple of like smaller projects together during these years, and he just sort of reached out when he was working on the script for the Maze Runner that he really would like to get just a couple of rough ideas for the whole pitch package before he presents it. So I didn't have much time. I remember I had like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days to put anything basically together. He just gave me a rough idea what he wants, and we just started to work on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what do you think, and what's your like advice for people who are starting out in terms of like showing your work online? What do you can recommend to them to showcase themselves, or where to do it, and how to do it? How did it work for you? Because you've been showing your work everywhere, right?
I was I was doing my blog, and I always had a website, I think, but nowadays I think Facebook is the most important platform where you can showcase your work, and probably, I mean, it was like CG Society back then, and then CG Hub, and now it's like probably ArtStation.
Yeah.
And like there are a couple of other platforms, but for me it's got really overwhelming after a while. So when I went back to freelance, I decided, I wanna be on every fucking social media platform.
Yeah.
I wanna have a portfolio everywhere, and then after like 2 months, I realized, oh man, it's just not possible to keep up with all these things. So I tried to like select, and basically what's left is I'm still doing my blog. I'm trying to post on Facebook as well, Just
Mhm.
I don't have like an art page just on my personal page because I don't really believe in art pages, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Instagram
Um,
as well, right? Instagram, you're on Instagram.
yeah, Instagram. Just so I post on Twitter, but it's basically I Twitter is good because I can follow people who are not post that regularly, but sometimes they can offer good links and things like that. So I think it's much more how you say that? It's a much more casual platform.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and Facebook, but Facebook is getting really, really too much for me, to be honest. It's just too much information. Simply, I just can't cope with it. And so much good art. I always feel I'm a piece of shit when I'm going up on
Yeah, that's
Facebook.
overwhelming, right? I've made that mistake. I created my Instagram account and I was like, oh yeah, let's follow every awesome artist in the world. And right now I can just refresh any second and I have like Kim Jung-gi posting like awesome drawings all the time, and all these. God, yeah, that's intimidating. Sometimes like, where are the food photos? Where are the
Yeah.
cats? Where are the pets? God damn it! I don't want to look at art anymore.
So I think these are mixed. So some of them earlier, some of them later, but these are also for an RPG, like a sci-fi RPG thing, like illustrations called Eclipse Phase. So these are more. I think these are from 2013. So we jumped a bit, but these are
It's really cool to see that you've been
some more
jungling
recent.
between the sci-fi, fantasy, and all that different genres. And do you find any of them the most favorite of yours?
I'm a sucker of sci-fi, man. I love sci-fi.
No, I can agree with you. Anyway, I'm just wondering if you have any of them the most like the most like favorite to you to do that the most that gives you the most enjoy while you are doing it.
Um, I think sci-fi definitely. I love sci-fi. I don't know why. It just fascinates me that just the future technology and everything. It's probably started. This whole thing started when I was a kid, and my first movie what I've ever seen. I clearly remember it. That I think I was around 5 years old
Mm-hmm.
or something, and my parents got together with some friends, and they brought them with me. They brought how do you say that? They brought me with themselves just to hang out with friends because the friends also had kids, and basically I remember the parents were just chatting and having beers in the kitchen and just put us kids in front of the TV, and the father of the kids brought us like a VHS tape, and the movie he had put in was my first ever movie experience or video experience, and that was The Empire Strikes Back, and I was totally freaking out. I mean,
That's the best episode, man.
the best episode, and I think that was the moment when my when my career started. I was
Yeah.
absolutely stoked. So I think that probably that's why it's still the sci-fi. And yeah, man, I just went into one of the Lego shops here a couple of days ago, and I want to buy just the giant X-wing.
Oh man, so Star Wars brought you. Man, same thing here. Totally. I remember watching these Star Wars movies and like crappy TV on. Oh god, that's so old school. I love that. Yeah, that's still what drives me really, really bubbly. It's awesome to hear that you also come from this place. And Yeah.
So yeah. So what I'm showing now is still like freelance. These are more like the concept work. I've done these for Applebot, for Galaxy Sega, but a lot of people were doing the actual like super polished cards, but I was doing more the back design of things.
Yeah.
So I had to do like a bunch of enemy designs for the whole game. So
Yeah, these look awesome.
so these are more the actual like design robots and mechs and futuristic soldiers and things like that.
Yeah, I love how you present them, like how it's all unified between all the characters, and yeah, design can still.
Yeah, I mean, I still had to keep them in the same universe. So I
You've
think
done
these were.
so much. I mean, there is so much art you're showing us. That's just awesome to see how much you have,
Yeah.
how much work you have put
You are
to.
like a
Yeah.
born machine, man.
So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, and that Dune series. Oh yeah.
yeah, and this was yeah. I started June when so we got to another phase. So I got a freelance work from a project in LA, and I always wanted to go back to study a bit, and I thought that this could be a good chance to study a bit more. So I decided to go to LA just for a short period, just for 3-4 months, and I went to Concept Design Academy and took some classes. So basically, I connected the work with the useful part, or I don't know how you say it. So basically, I worked during the day and I went to classes at night. It was
Oh, awesome. So how long have you been there?
3.5 months, 4 months. The
Okay,
classes.
so yeah, go ahead.
And I went to an environment design class to James Pike, and that guy is super awesome. And I started this. So there were these class assignments basically, and we had to pick a theme for one of them. And I just picked Dune because I simply love the universe of Dune, and that's how this whole sort of personal project started. And I'm still doing it when I have a bit more time, and I'm also planning to do a bit more with it. I mean, to do a bigger thing, but I don't want to give out too much at the moment. But before before it happens, but I really hope it's gonna happen. So
Yeah, I remember seeing those on Facebook, and yeah, I was blown away that somebody actually took up the universe that wasn't that like explored visually and actually started exploring in that way. I mean, there was a movie, right? But
yeah, there was the David Lynch movie, what was super trippy, but it was really theatrical. And the thing what I wanted to do is not really doing illustrations for the book, because we have seen a lot of illustrations and a lot of muad'Dibs, a lot of sandworms and everything from Dune, but we never really seen the rest of the world. And it's such a rich world, and I'm more interested in all the stuff what you can't see in the books. So more like it's like an exploration for me.
so that's what kept you kind of. So that was a project that helped you develop your technical skills, like to ground these explorations in one universe, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's an interesting way of studying, like picking a project and then just learning tools and learning theory as you go to resolve problems. Basically that's how like you get to you work basically. That's
Yeah.
how you that's the brief you have in front of you that you have to find a way to give the best performance. And Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly. So basically, it was a word exploration. But what helped me a lot to get more deeply in the industry, in sort of the design process, because okay, I've created like one-off concepts and one-off illustrations, but there was more like a world developing process, and it still is. So like just focusing purely on the design of everything.
So apart from the art, like there's like the question that is a little bit different, but it's really important for us artists and people who are focusing on doing art and stuff. How do you keep yourself health, and how do you keep it all going on with your health, physically and mentally?
I mean, I think a lot of people, especially young people, don't really think about it, but I think it's really super important. I mean, I was also into like booze and smoking pot and all and partying and all that shit when I was younger, but I just realized you just can't go on with that forever, and because what I'm doing and the work is the most important for me, and I really would like to do that, but I just simply need the energy. So I really trying to eat healthy, and I also exercise at least three times a week.
Sorry.
It was when I was in Cambridge, it was 5 times, but then my girlfriend wasn't there, so I still would like to keep spend some time
You
with.
practice with her right now, right?
Sorry?
You work out with her right now, right?
You work out with?
You work out with her right now, so you don't need to do it 5 times alone.
Yeah, that's my cardio.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm also I'm commuting with bike, so that's also a form of exercise. I'm going to the gym in the morning I'm not saying each morning, but at least three times a week, and it's great because I get so much energy from it. So I don't want to be like a super muscle guy, but for example, my back doesn't hurt since I started to take like the gym and the exercise much more seriously. And like 4 years ago, I had a really serious back pain and back problems because of the work and sitting like 10, 12 hours every day. So
Yeah,
you have to be careful with this stuff and look after your body, because it's really worth it. Get a nice chair, do exercise, and eat healthy.
Yeah, we spoke a lot about it, but what about the mental condition? Like, what keeps your mind refreshed? Like, do you have any good activity that you like to do apart from doing art? Maybe something like, I don't know, sitting on the beach, far away from the computer or wherever.
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. So somebody likes to play games. I like to get away from the computers and screens when I'm so really like recharge, just to go out to nature with my girlfriend, or just to read a good book or things like that. Just to have a nice dinner with my friends or brothers or whatever. Just to do something completely different to recharge my mind.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
So yeah, in the meantime, I'm just showing. So during all these years, I started to work on Star Wars IPs as well. So I was doing a lot of illustrations for the card game and for the RPG lines for books. So these are like various. I just drew.
So that must have been like a really fun thing to.
I mean,
you were
awesome. I mean, this was crazy, and the biggest the biggest mindfuck was for me. Like I mentioned that VHS video, that Empire Strikes Back, like 10 minutes ago, and the first ever assignment what I got on the Star Wars game was for a hot pack. What was basically I had to paint exactly the same scenes and the same scenarios from the Empire Strikes Back movie, and that was crazy.
That was a good match. Yeah.
So
yeah, these look great.
A lot of stuff, man. It's like a lot of really good stuff from it.
So I just love these, and I also done some movie work during this period. I've done some a lot of pitch work actually, but I'm still not allowed to show them. It's crazy. They're still under NDAs, but I also done some promotional work. What I can actually show. So these were for Riddick.
Mm-hmm.
So these were like basically almost like matte plates. So these are like different plates, and they created like an animated trailer from them, but transitioned into the real trailer of the movie.
Mm. We spoke about the design already today, but there's like a really interesting question. How do you come up with something that was never seen before, something that's unique? How do you prepare maybe yourself to actually come up with some idea that was never seen before? It's really hard. I know.
I mean, that's a really hard question. It always depends on the actual project, I think. I always try to come up with associations based on the subject. So there's always some sort of a subject. So you always get a description, or there's always a story. There's always something, or at least a mood, or to start with. And I simply try to come up with like 3 associations and try to build on top of those. Like I don't know, just for example, if I show like one, just for example, I show one Warhammer illustrations. Mm-hmm. So like for example, for this one, so they never showed this planet in the Warhammer universe. So there wasn't design, there wasn't any preconception of this planet. The only thing what they knew, it's basically, it's pretty much like Coruscant, but it's like consists of, so it's like a big city of the whole world is a big, like almost like a factory, but it's like a huge planet. And they wanted me to design it, and I went back to, and I didn't know how to start it, and I was just scrolling through like aerial photographs of factories, and I thought, okay, that's okay, but it's kind of boring, and I tried to look for visually similar things, and what I found is actually electromicroscopic photographs of graphite crystals, what had the same sort of pattern like the pipes of the factories from an aerial photographs, and then I based on those structures I just started to sort of come up with a really messy crystal structure and add these pipes and chimneys and everything, and this is how this came, and the guys at Games Workshop loved it because it was a really unique design, and it was a perfect fit for the world. So I think it's just to find that one association is hard, but if you can find something what is unique, but you can still connect it in your mind with the thing what you're designing for, then that could be a new way, I suppose. But everybody has different process, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure it made sense what I just said.
It really makes sense because, as you said, everyone is different and everyone's workflow and the
But
way
it's just, I think it's just one way. So, but if it's different if you have to design like a functional thing, like a robot or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because then the whole thing comes from the function of.
Yeah.
Then you instantly have a starting point. But I think it's really hard to design something like design what you've never seen before. But okay, but what? It's sort of like I remember like people were asking me to draw something when I was in high school because they knew I can draw well, and let's draw something. And I was always asking, but okay, but what? You know, you can just you can start scribble, but I think you always need some sort of a starting point to do anything.
Yeah, definitely. It's like with every even unique design, you start with research, right? That's something that really push your ideas farther,
exactly.
and your mind will start working on something that is cool and maybe something really original and something that makes sense actually. Because if it's like you're creating some vehicles, it has to have function. It has to be somehow justified in terms of entertainment looking, and it has to work in the way of us to be credibility in terms of visual, right? In terms of function.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the point. Oh, this stuff I really like. This is Godzilla stuff.
So yeah, these are pretty similar to the Riddick ones. So same like I was just working on the promotional part of Godzilla, just doing basically like animated matte paintings for the promotion for marketing.
So did you have to keep them all separated in terms of layers? Because I remember that you mentioned me that they were like moved backgrounds, right?
Yeah. I had to keep everything separately.
How hard is it for you to keep everything separated? Because I tend to like to flatten the picture, and it really gives you more natural way of working when you have all on one layer or where the picture is flattened.
Yeah. When I'm working on concepts or just for myself, I have a tendency to flatten down everything, and I just go with the flow because I prefer a much more painterly look than these ones.
Yeah.
But
that's what I mean.
But I think if you just have to keep in mind that what's the purpose of the final file, and it's basically just it's the same thing like separating your piece to foreground, midground, and background, and sky or whatever. You just keep different space segments, and if you build up your file with this having in your mind, then it shouldn't be any problem. It requires a different mindset, but if you try to be a bit organized from the very first step, then it's all right. It's just a pain in the ass in the first, just to build up this structure, but after you have built it up, it's much more easier to work with, and much more easier to add all these smokes and effects in between the layers. So yeah, and after that, I just ended up at Ninja Theory as a senior concept artist. They hired me for a different project, but unfortunately can't talk about and can't share anything because it's got canned. But then after the project got cancelled, they moved me to Hellblade. So and we have done a lot of like experimenting with Hellblade, like doing environments and.
That was a game project, or?
Yeah, it's a game project. It's still running. I'm not sure what's the release date or how is it going at the moment because our art director, I mean the project art director moved to ILM, and so now the project has a different art director, and they wanted to take a slightly different direction. I mean, they're still gonna keep the overall feel of the game and everything, but these were really super early exploration pieces. So, but we have done crazy amount of artwork.
Do you find this early stages of development more fun than the later stages, like a prom art? Like, what do you like more?
Yeah, definitely. I love this really early phase because that's where you can establish the whole look of the project. So that's where you actually create the world of the game or movie or whatever. So I think definitely this is my favorite and most, and I think this is the most creative part.
Yeah, that's where you can have like a true fun, because you can establish so many things by yourself. Yeah. Sometimes you have more freedom, sometimes you have less freedom, but still,
exactly,
it's your language that you're giving away. So it's way more fun to see it later assimilated into the project. Yeah, these look great, totally. So what happened with all that? Have the game got released or?
They are still working on it. I think the release date is somewhere later this year. Like, I don't want to say anything because I'm not sure.
All right.
When it's gonna be. The original plan was to release it 2015 September. So this year, September this year. But I mean, I really don't know what's gonna happen. So I also done some sculpting work for this. This is actual production work. So this is for the teaser. What we have done for the game. So I also done some sculpting and texturing work. These are some mood concepts for it. Some props. Like actual finally, actually, some production art.
Yeah. What's the main difference that you noticed between the work on the games and the movies?
Oh, I don't know. It's interesting because I think the whole thing is merging together. So I think there's less and less difference between, okay, the budget is different, the people are slightly different, both the people think they are more superior, the people in movies think they are more superior than people working in games, and the people in games thinking they are more superior than people working in movies. So it's kind of funny, but I think from the art side, it's all the same. So from the concept art side, especially with the new gen consoles, they are just so powerful. You can pretty much do anything. The difference comes in from the production side, from where the production starts, because in a movie, you have to keep in mind that if you design a sword or a weapon or an armor or something, that's gonna be an actual prop, and somebody has to make that prop, and an actor is gonna wear that armor, and things like that. And in games, you also have restraints, but it's totally different. The constraints are coming from the engine, so more like how many polygons can be a mech, or I just said something, or what kind of effects can you use in a scene, or what can be allowed and what not. So I think it comes from just. It's a bit different. Just the production side is a bit different, but I think the actual pre-production, so the design, phase where all the thoughts are going into the design and what you are creating. I think that's pretty much the same now. Okay, if you are working on a casual game for mobile platforms, that's a bit different because that's much closer to, let's say, an animation production.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see much difference from the creative side, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. A lot of really different types of work everywhere. So this is the latest things you did, right? Oh yeah, the book.
This is pretty much yeah. So I just so again I spent like a bit more than a year at Ninja, and again I moved back to freelance, and I moved back to Budapest because of family reasons. What is basically my girlfriend, because we just figured out that she won't be able to move to the UK for various reasons. I don't really want to get into that, and I decided it's just I don't want to be separately from her any longer, so I decided to move back here, and what I think was a great decision.
Yeah.
So I just moved back like a month and a half ago, or something like that, early February.
Okay.
And now I'm back to freelance again. Yay!
Darek, you sound so bitter.
What?
Darek.
What?
Darek doesn't sound so happy. Why?
Why?
I know.
No, it's all fine. It's all fine.
Okay, let's
anyway,
talk about the book.
Yeah, but maybe before you show us the PDF, just show it in the physical form, which is really cool that I told you about. Let's do it, man.
So that people can actually see that the book exists, right?
Yeah, it exists.
Yes.
Silence. Bam!
Bam! Book!
Nice, awesome.
So yeah, it's a pretty heavy bastard. It's nearly 2 kgs. It's about this thick, 300 pages, full of awesome.
Nice.
That's beautiful, man.
I still need to get my copy from Ninja.
Full of awesome tutorials. So it's basically, yeah, it's about the whole process of concept art. It's kind of funny how this thing started, because I always wanted. I mean, you have seen that I've done a shitload of work, and I was thinking that it would be so cool to put together a book, or at least first I wanted to do like a sketchbook thing, and then I wanted to do like one about speed paintings, and then about professional work, whatever. And once we started to last, I think around May, I started to talk about this with Patrice from It's Art, It's Art magazine, or I'm pretty sure you know the site.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, look, we have this sort of creator projects, and so would you be, if you have any projects what you would like to do, then just get in touch and we can start talk about it." And I started to talk about this whole idea that, okay, it would be cool to put together a book, but it would be cool to show a process or something, because I'm also working for Imaginafix magazine for about 3 years now, I think, and doing different tutorials and Q&As and stuff. And I always wanted to give back something for the community. Probably because I never really had that sort of help, and from all these small ideas, the these books started to form, and I realized that I would like to create a book what I would need it when I was starting out. So basically, create a book and to show the people who are starting out or just interested in this whole thing, just to show the whole process, because it's honestly if you are outside of this industry, it's a big mystery. You don't know what's really going on. You are seeing all these amazing artworks, but you see the illustrations and you see the people posting all this art. You see all the professionals, but it's really intimidating, and you don't know where to start or how does it actually looks like. What's the process if you get into the industry? What you should do? What does it consist of? So, and I wanted to summarize this whole thing and break it down. They break down the whole process into, like, from the very first steps, from the really early sketching or from doing studies till how you create final artworks and create marketing art and final pieces for production. And then when I launched the campaign, I thought it would be so cool to have some guest artists in there to not kill people just with my own stuff, because honestly I'm gonna be bored from my own shit. So and then I wrote to my friends online, and I met them in real life, about 80% of them or 85% of them, and the rest 15% is like I know their works, or I know them from Facebook or online forums or whatever, and just I wrote to about 35 people, and the most amazing thing in this whole journey was that in 20 minutes I just sent a Facebook message, like a group message, and in 20 minutes 20 of them said yes. And that was so flattering, and it was really crazy. And so basically I ended up with 32 guest artists, what I think was incredible, and but also this was the turning point, what made this whole project a hell. Because just to organize this many people, just to get all the artworks, just to try to hold the whole thing together, and from basically what I imagined is a maximum of maybe 180 pages long book, it became a 300 pages long book, full of artworks with 33 artists and more than 500 artworks, more than 30 tutorials. So it was really crazy, but I think it turned out great, and so far the responses are great about the book. So if you have any questions or anyone.
So is there a possibility of getting it like just in some like internet store or?
Oh yeah. So we are in a bit of a delay with the shipping. So we are still shipping. So for the people who supported the campaign, we are shipping those books first because they have priority. Because pretty much they gave us the money to actually be able to make the book. Unfortunately, we got a big fuck up with the shipping prices, because the post raised prices and we miscalculated the shipping. So okay. I also had to put money into this as an extra. So we are really minus with this whole project.
Huh.
So people are thinking that I'm making a fortune on these books, but actually till this point I just spent money on this whole thing. But that's all right. I didn't make it for the money in the first place. So So basically, we are shipping everything for the pledgers first, and we are really hoping to finish that in a couple of weeks. I sent out all the contributor copies, and Petrus from ItsArt sending out all the pledger copies, and I think we sent out more than half of the books already. So there's another 130 something left to send out. So we are packaging these by hand and bringing them to the post office by hand, so there is no shipping company or anything involved. But that's
what it takes, yeah.
That's what it takes to be an indie publisher, or I don't know what am I.
Awesome.
And yeah, so after we finish, so just to get back to your questions.
Yeah, of course.
Question, after we finish this, we still gonna have about 200 books left. What we gonna sell online, and we are going to open pre-orders when we finish shipping the first batch. So I really hope to open pre-orders. I actually wanted to open pre-orders already, but we just feel it would be unfair towards our pledgers, because they supported the campaign. And it would be unfair for them if somebody who would just buy the book now, he would receive his book earlier, for example, because of the cost,
that could cause some confusion. Yeah.
So, and I don't really want that. So I really wanna treat this fairly, but we are going to open pre-orders as soon as we can, and you're gonna be able to buy the book in PDF form, so in digital form as well, and I'm also thinking to publish it in an iPad app format. So not a PDF, but an actual downloadable from the iStore format, and that's gonna go out with the pre-orders as well. So hopefully that's gonna be in about 2 weeks, maximum 3.
The digital form.
Yeah, both the digital format and the pre-orders for the actual physical books.
That's great. All right. So the project.
So it's gonna go on sale on ItsArt, but I'm gonna post everything on Facebook and on my blog and
yeah,
and
exactly.
So.
If you want to make sure you're up to date with all the stuff from Mark, make sure to subscribe to him on Facebook. So just Mark Molnar, Facebook. Follow him. You will get the updates. Yeah.
Just follow me on Facebook. I think that's the best. I'm not sure where can I. I think I'm linked. So if you are coming from Facebook to the Level Up sessions,
yeah, exactly.
I think I'm linked to.
Yeah,
I can just drop my links there.
I will also find all the info about Mark and all the links in the description to this video after it's getting uploaded. So yeah.
So if you're interested, I also think to just quickly just show into the book.
Some sneak peek. Darek, are you dead? Darek.
Hello.
Hello.
Darek is dead.
What's up, guys?
Nothing. Just chilling, you know.
Oh, I just get
casual
my drink.
level up.
Okay, it needs some time to actually open the fucking PDF.
There you go.
So yeah, it looks like that. It's pretty much represents the book pretty well. Oh, you are seeing like double spreads now. So these are the contents, and everything starts with an introduction, just a brief thing. What is concept design? What's the job of the concept artist? What the other people think? What the other side thinks, like. Some things about art directors from the other side, like from Rob Ruppel or John Shindehatty, and Carlo Arorano. And then it starts with like importance of live drawing, like sketches, like still life studies, and so the whole thing looks like, so every chapter looks like it has some foreword, so it has some writing about the overall subject. So all the subchapters has some thoughts, and then each subchapter has some 1 or 2 tutorials or step-by-steps, and then a couple of pages of galleries. And it goes from doing silhouettes and sketches to line drawings and how you can develop your designs with line drawings.
I love the design of the book. It looks really clean and simple and
Thank you.
well organized. Yeah. Looks like a great resource book that you don't have to really read from the start to end. You can just open it up and.
Yeah, it's basically that's the main thing. So you basically just open it up, and one subchapter is like 6 to 8 pages, and you can just focus on one subject if you want, and just go like just in smaller portions.
I've seen you have some QR codes attached to the book.
Yeah, we also have some online content, what is related to each subchapters.
Oh, okay. So these are like videos or.
Yeah, exactly. These are tutorial videos online.
That's great. So you can just scan a code and get a video.
Yeah, exactly. So you're reading a book and you just snap the QR code with your iPad or with your smartphone, and you just go online and watch the video instantly.
That's great. I love that implementation of this digital touch to the really traditional medium, which is just a book, right? I love how they work together.
And all the, so if you get the PDF, all the links are working. So like, for example, you can go instantly to the artist's website from there, and also use the QR codes here. So if you're using the digital version. So yeah, color roughs, and yeah, I'm only at 80 pages, so it's still 200 pages more.
That's great.
So character design, creature design, environment design, promotional art, matte painting. We have a bit of everything. So don't think about it. It's not an in-depth tutorial book about one subject. It's more about giving you an overview about the whole process, what professionals are using in the industry.
It's really good tips for people who didn't decide yet to get it.
Yeah, it looks like it's full of knowledge, and knowledge from all around the world, basically all around the different fields and different.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for a teaser.
That's great. Thank you for showing us that. It really showcases the strong.
So yeah, the main idea was to not necessarily talk about Photoshop techniques or what brushes to use, but I specifically asked each artist who were doing tutorials that try to focus more on the thinking process of things, or of how they create certain designs, and how they make decisions, and why they pick certain things, and so yeah, things like that.
That's
really
great.
So
I hope people are gonna like it, but
I'm sure they will.
We'll see. I still don't know. The funny thing is, it's like I can only see the faults in the book and the mistakes, so I don't really know what to think about it. I mean,
yeah, when you work a lot on one thing, same with artwork, right? When you work a really long time on one piece, you cannot really see anything in there anymore. Even when
it's really hard to judge this thing. I mean, I started working on it on last June, I think. So So I spent like 9 months on it, and I can't really say. So I really think I have to get away from it for a couple of months, and then maybe after that, or from people feedback, we can try to rethink, and we'll see how this whole project goes. It would be really cool to find a real publisher for it if people like it, because it's just not worth it to do such small print runs, because I mean I could print only like 500 copies, and it costed a fortune. It just doesn't make sense to do this small run from this art book. So, but we'll see how it goes. If people gonna like it, then I might gonna try to approach like a bigger publisher, and we'll see.
Yeah, because there's like quite a lot of questions related to the book. Don't you mind that we will encourage people to ask it to you personally on Facebook or something? It's like because some of the people may have some of concerns, or maybe they are mixed or confused about the shippings and stuff. So maybe we can encourage them to. Directly.
Yeah, absolutely. Just get in touch with me directly. You can write me an email to info@markmolnar.com, or feel free to message me on Facebook. And I have a pretty busy schedule, but I'm gonna try to answer as soon as I can.
Awesome. So we have around 25 minutes, I guess, to hit 2 hours. Is it the time that we can ask you for doing something live, or?
We can do something. Awesome. I don't know what I can do in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really up to you, man.
Okay.
Darek.
Sorry, it sounded bad, but you know what I mean. No, it's all fine. It just.
So
we
maybe
don't really want to push the pressure on you, or don't really want to rush the stuff. So if it takes a little bit longer, it's all right. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe have you been active in the daily speed paint topic, like group, or not that much?
Yeah, but I didn't have much time lately to do anything. So,
yeah,
but I can do just some experiment or show how
your process.
Experiment with stuff, or try to come up with new stuff.
Yeah, sure. That would be great.
I hope my Photoshop is not gonna crash, because it's acting pretty weird now. I had to actually switch back to CS3 because I don't know, they were just doing all this funky stuff.
Yeah, Photoshop doesn't really come together with Google Hangout, that's for sure. So it may crash, from my experience.
Let's do some random. I don't know. I usually just start with, if I don't have any ideas, I just start with some random blobs and things.
Mark?
So you already started?
Yeah.
Oh, can we see your
face? You just see my face. That's awesome.
Yes, it's all beautiful.
I totally forgot to share my screen. Okay.
It's all beautiful, but the way that we could click on it is really cool.
The new way of experiencing an art demo.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to think about
it's not much, but.
Awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. So usually I just start with like random colors and blobs.
So this is some. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just feel free to ask, because I have a tendency to like just keep painting and forget that I actually have to talk.
No worries, no worries. You can stay silent. That's totally all right. If you will feel like there's something you could talk about, feel free to do that. But I was about to ask: is this some sort of underpainting for you, or just like a random idea generator?
Well, it's just a random idea.
Okay.
That's exactly. So I'm pretty much just going in and try to come up with an interesting composition and colors and something, but I don't really think about anything at the moment. So the real process starts when I start to see something in this, and then I start to.
You work really small at the same time, so this is just to judge the composition well.
Yeah, exactly. I try not to zoom in at all at this stage, because yeah, I just try to focus on the. So I only zoom in when at the detailing phase, but even then I only zoom on to the focal area.
Yeah.
Just to keep everything else clean and much looser.
People want to buy a tutorial with face artist only. It's really cool. You started a new trend, man. Yeah, the guys that are watching us right now, if you have any more questions to Mark, feel free to post them right now in the chat on YouTube video.
It's really amazing how fast you can see something in random shapes, or like I can tell that you already see something in there. You suddenly started acting really intent, like you can see what's going on. I can see you're going for something, but it's amazing how fast you can really see stuff in random shapes and value relationships. That's awesome.
Well, it's still kind of random, but what I see is some sort of a weird. So maybe I always try to come up with some sort of a story in my head. So maybe it's like a big. It's some sort of an alien world because of the whole color scheme, and maybe it's like a big lake with this pink algae inside, and I just try to think this further. I mean, go with this idea. So what I can imagine around this lake. So like maybe there are rocks, some kind of rock formations around the lake. So maybe there's like a small alien fishing village or something. So I always try to come up with a story for the image, and then I just build on top. And the further I go into the story, the more I know about this world, and the easier the whole process gets.
So,
yeah.
Do you also do your own references, like taking photos, or while you are traveling or something?
Yeah, definitely. So I can highly recommend to do your own pictures. I also have a big library of pictures collected during the years. And I took like, I was really unorganized, so I took like 3 or 4 days for me once to actually organize it into like a folder structure. but after I done it, it's everything. It's much clearer, and now I basically I just when I'm coming back from my trips to anywhere or even from a holiday, I can just go into that folder structure and I just quickly dump in all the new photos into the same like folder structure and I go from there. So I can quickly share it if you want.
Yeah, of course.
So, oh, you are not allowed to see these folders. It's on my other screen. Wait a second. So I have two, actually. So these are the textures. And as you see, these are like animal skins, bricks, clothes, concrete, whatever. Zombies, even. Planets, patterns, ornaments. So this is one, and so this is what I can actually use in an image as a texture, or sometimes for photo bashing and stuff.
Can you show us an example of any? Or?
Yeah. So this here's like what's. Let's do this. That's not that much, but it's like garbage.
It's awesome to have everything sorted out. It's really saving your time.
Yeah, exactly. But some of them has a lot. Like, for example, planets. These are just different planets and stars and space stuff.
Yeah. Something that you needed the most in the right time, right?
Yeah. So and when I started a new project, I'm not saving my references per project. I also have like project specific references, but what I know I can use later in the future, I just basically dump into the same like folder structure. So these are one, and I have another one what are basically references. And this is, this is a bit different. So you have, as you can see, you have like 1900s Paris, and that's everything from there. So what happened there? Just postcards from that era. What can be used there? Like early photographs from that era and things like that. Costumes. What happened on the street? What was the level of technology? And things like that, because I needed this for a page project as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is organized in a different way, and I have like clothes, and the clothes are broken down into different things again. Like I have contemporary clothing, I like traditional, historical, whatever.
Awesome.
So these are like contemporary clothing. Futuristic designs and all sorts of stuff. But I think you have to be open. It's not like even from fashion shows and
yeah, definitely.
These are super great references for like movie costume design, for example. So yeah, I'm trying to organize this, and plus I use Pinterest a lot lately, and I try to follow different boards there because I think it's a great collection of references. So. Any questions? No. Really?
Oh, this is really cool. Can you suggest any universities in Hungary for concept artists wannabe? Or wait, it's not the finish. Or should I start with online schools? Or should I stack? Sorry. Yeah.
That's hard.
Hard question.
It's hard because there aren't any specific universities in Hungary teaching concept art. There are some good universities like the University of Fine Art or MOME is also good. What was the universities where I went originally? Just it has a different name now. But I think universities and schools generally is much more important about the people, just to be involved with the art scene, and just to meet with people. And the basic knowledge what you need for concept art is not really about concept art. That's the trick. I think you can find the same knowledge in any school, and the techniques for digital paintings are just basically techniques. You can learn it by yourself or from online courses, but to get involved with people and to learn, I don't know, art history, for example, or to learn what to look in, what are the general design principles, what can be applied to anything from industrial design to product design to concept art to graphic design to costume design. Those universal principles is really hard to learn by your own, I think. So I know a lot of people.
Mark, are you there?
Hello.
I think we experienced another.
I learned shitloads in art school, and all the classes what I felt they are unnecessary and it's just a waste of time. I'm using those almost every day. I'm using that knowledge almost every day in the industry now. So like color theory, for example, I felt it's I don't want to do that. I don't want to paint like color circles, and I don't want to learn about like accents and stuff. And now I'm using that knowledge every day. So I know you can find a lot of knowledge now online, but still, I still believe in art schools. But it's really hard to say that okay, go to this art school or go to that.
So you would go for art school not necessarily for the particular knowledge of like concept art, but more for general awareness of perception.
I think that's much more valuable and much more important knowledge than learning about how to paint a lizard creature or something.
Yeah. That's
because you can apply that knowledge to anything. But if you go to an online course and you learn how to paint a lizard creature, you can only paint a lizard creature, and that's it.
Yeah, like
okay, this is an extreme what I said now, but I'm sure you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I don't think one excludes another. I think these two should come together, right? But
yeah, exactly.
At the beginning, you don't really need that much of, like, let's talk about this lizard painting. You don't really need to paint lizards. Like, you don't need to operate in really particulars or specifics that much. You need like general overall knowledge of.
Exactly. So I'm not saying that that online art education sucks. I'm still watching tutorials myself, and they are great. I'm just saying that I think classical art education still has its place, and what you can't really. just the personal side of it, I think it's really valuable. Just the one-on-one training, like the whole mentorship thing. I think that's really valuable, and that you can actually get into this whole art scene. What are not just consist of concept artists, but also all sorts of other designers. Are you here?
Yeah, totally.
Hello?
Any other questions?
We have some connection problems from time to time.
Yeah?
Yeah, a little bit of cutting off. But
can you hear me now?
yeah, it works now.
I think so. Maybe can you tell us a little bit more about what you are actually doing right now with the picture?
Well, I'm just still building on top of that the first idea, and just to give a mood to the whole picture and add some atmosphere to the whole thing. I'm trying to extend the depth, so I added a foreground. And I have this big lake, and I have this some sort of a village or some structures here. But I still don't really have a story in mind. So it's probably just a mood piece to start with, like an establishing shot, but I still gonna need some extra focal point or something somewhere here, maybe.
Yeah, sometimes it's just some ideas comes with additional stroke on the canvas, like something that is unexpected from you actually.
Yeah. So maybe I'm adding this. The droid. No, it's gonna die. That's not a good sign. Ah, that's it. Damn.
It died. God damn it.
It died.
I think it recognizes exactly 2 hours from when we started.
Yeah.
It wasn't intentional.
You just set your
But it was exactly 2 hours.
self-detonation timer in Photoshop.
I wanted to do a screenshot, but I didn't even have time to do a screenshot because it just froze.
That was great. That really showcased how fast you can come up with different ideas and worlds, and how much fun you can get from that as well. So that was really cool to see. And yeah, thanks Mark. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, so this is pretty much my process, but I have you can see much more from my process. I have a couple of YouTube videos. I have a YouTube channel. So if you go on my blog, I have a link from my blog to my YouTube channel, but I have some videos on my website as well.
Sure, Darek. We can make sure it's going to be posted.
Like ideation and speed painting process and some photo bashing, and you can see some 3D stuff as well there. So yeah, feel free to browse it through, and I'm really sorry that it's ended this way, but it wasn't.
No worries, man. It was definitely very worth watching 2 hours, I guess, and I'm really happy that we end up also showing your book, your stuff, your older stuff, which was really cool. I think it was one of the bigger parts that we ever had in terms of like journey in the past with our guests. So I think it was really worth and all valuable. So to all people who are watching us right now, we really thanks for joining us today, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Again, it was I'm super stoked, and I'm really honored to be here after all these big names, man.
Oh, it
I
was
think
really
you.
a pleasure
I
for us
think you.
to
Yeah,
interview you. So yeah.
I don't think we are that big, dude. It's just that we are just another guys inviting another artist just to hang out and talk. So I don't think it's that big. So I just think I don't know. We're just having fun. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was great to have you, man.
Well, I'm really happy, and I hope people learned some stuff as well, or at least got some valuable knowledge.
Yeah,
From
totally.
my
So, guys, make sure to tune in for updates from Mark on his Facebook. We'll make sure to post his YouTube channel and Blogspot in the description to this video as well.
Yeah, I definitely keep everyone updated about the what's happening with the book, and yeah, and thanks for watching, and thanks for having me.
So basically, to sum up, if you have any questions regarding the book, which is really amazing quality, and I have to get my copy as well from Ninja, and I really recommend it to you just to get it.
Oh, stop goddamn talking. Stop talking. One question. One question.
Oh, right. Yeah. All right.
You do push-ups. You don't want that. So, Darek, ask the question.
All right. Do you want to ask
what question? What?
You want to ask this question?
Yeah.
Wojtek?
The most important question in the world. Okay, so that's the question we tend to ask every guest at the end, and when we don't do it, then we have to do push-ups. So, would you rather be a Godzilla or a billionaire, and why?
Oh, fucking Godzilla, man! No question about that. I mean, I was grown up with Godzilla movies, the original ones. Godzilla or Mothra, definitely.
There you go. That's awesome. All right. So
that sounds fair. That sounds fair. So yeah, I think we can wrap up. We will meet you guys next week. We will announce another guest pretty soon. And thanks for all who watched us today. Thanks, of course, for Mark for amazing time with us. Don't forget to keep being up to date with his book and with following his work. So see you next week and bye bye.
Yeah, see you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.